actually one of my favorite parts of a text talk lesson because it introduces new vocabulary in a way that students get to practice with it and kind of use it more. These are words that can be easily inserted into their vocabulary. They're not really highly academic words that wouldn't fit into normal conversation. So, as I said, these words are meant for a 4th grade class. However, there are so many great words in this book and so many great definitions. Please feel free to take out any words you want that expand on your child's vocabulary. So our first vocabulary word is luminous. In this book, Sage's best friend's name is Star. Sage makes sure that we aren't confused between Star the person and Star the luminous object we see in the sky at night. Luminous means to give off light. Let's say it together. Luminous. All right, so stars in the sky are luminous. Great. Now let's practice with our new vocabulary word. I'm going to say a word, and if you think it is luminous, which means to give off light, yes, then you should shout luminous and pretend to shine. And if it isn't, stay super silent. So let's go ahead. All right, light bulb. 1, 2, 3, luminous. A whiteboard marker. 1, 2, 3. It's not luminous. All right, a computer screen. 1, 2, 3, luminous. All right, a campfire. 1, 2, 3, luminous. And finally, a pine tree. 1, 2, 3. A pine tree isn't luminous. Now, here's a really tricky one that I designed to be connected to a science lesson I designed for my 4th graders. So if you would like, have your students try to tackle this. It can be a little advanced, but it's really good to know, and it might be something they remember if they're in younger grades and are learning about the moon later on. So here we go. Would you say that the moon is luminous based off of our definition of luminous, which means to give off light? 1, 2, 3. Even though it looks shiny in the sky, the moon is in fact not luminous. In fact, it only looks shiny because the moon is actually reflecting sunlight. So that's what makes it shine in the sky. It doesn't give light off on its own, which doesn't go with our definition of luminous. I hope that helps. So our next vocabulary word is miscellaneous. How could we not do this wonderful book without covering miscellaneous? So, of course, as we know, in this book, Sage accidentally spells miscellaneous as in Miss Alaineus, a person, leading her to think the definition was completely different than it actually was. Now, we know from reading that miscellaneous really means a collection of a bunch of unrelated things. So, what is our word? Miscellaneous. And what does it mean? A collection of a bunch of unrelated things. Okay, now I'm going to list a collection of 3 things, and I want you to pause the video after I say the 3 things and discuss with your child whether those 3 things are miscellaneous objects or if they're not because they have some sort of connection. Some of these are arguable, but I tried to make really clear examples of miscellaneous versus not miscellaneous. Make sure if your student does say something is miscellaneous that's not, or says that something's related that is actually meant to be miscellaneous, that they can justify it by showing how those items are related or not. Okay, so without further ado, here we go. A bar of soap, a pencil, and a bike. 1, 2, 3. Now that you've had time to talk with your child, I hope that you came up with the answer of miscellaneous. All right, now here's the next example. A car, a boat, and a plane. 1, 2, 3. Example is not miscellaneous because each of these are modes of transportation. All right. Now here's our next example. A jellyfish, a dolphin, and a shark. Remember to pause and talk it out. 1, 2, 3. Not miscellaneous because these are all creatures that live in the sea. Okay. Next, a flower, a broom, and a can of soda. 1, 2, 3. Miscellaneous. All right. And here's our final example. All right. Merci, thank you, and gracias. 1, 2, 3. These are not miscellaneous words because they are all ways to say thank you in different languages. All right. Now, an extra thing you can do with your child is have them go about the house and pick 3 objects that are miscellaneous objects. And you can take a picture and put them in the comments. I would love to see them. Yeah, it really helps them kind of cement that idea. What was our word that we just practiced with? Miscellaneous, exactly. Now for our final word. Our final word is devastated. Here in the book, Sage says she is devastated that she not only misspelled and misdefined her word, but also drew an inaccurate picture of the word for extra credit. Devastated means to be destroyed or really badly hurt. If you feel devastated, then that means something happened that hurt your heart really badly. If a place is devastated, that means it was destroyed or was caused a lot of damage. So, what's our word? Devastated. Is being devastated a good feeling generally? No, it's not. All right, now I'm going to read aloud a sentence with the word devastated in it. If the sentence makes sense at the end, you clap. And if it doesn't, you say, boo! Please talk with your child and see why it doesn't make sense if you do say boo. Okay, so here we go. I was devastated to learn that I had made a bad grade on the test that I'd studied really hard for. 1, 2, 3. That is a good example of being devastated. All right. Here's the next example. Listen closely. I was devastated last year when my goldfish died. 1, 2, 3. It is an example of the word devastated. I was devastated when our teacher told us that we had time for an hour-long recess. 1, 2, 3. Boo! That's not a good use of the word devastated. And if your child feels that an hour-long recess is devastating, please have them explain to you why that might be, because we all have different opinions. All right, here's another example. The school looked devastated this morning. Everything was right where it was supposed to be. 1, 2, 3. Boo! That's not a good use of the word devastated because as we know, devastated tends to mean destroyed. And if everything's right where it's supposed to be and it's neat and orderly, then it's not devastated. And our final example, the forest was devastated by a fire. 1, 2, 3. Yes, that is a proper use of the word devastated. So, once again, what's our word? Devastated, exactly. All right, and if you want to close out this vocabulary lesson using all 3 of our new vocabulary words, please have them help you complete this sentence. The class was blank because the blank sun was covered with rain clouds and they couldn't go outside, so they had to build a bridge with blank objects like thread, paper clips, and popsicle sticks. Now that you've had time to work with your child on that, it should be the class was devastated because the luminous sun was covered with rain clouds, and they couldn't go outside, so they had to build a bridge with miscellaneous objects like thread, paper clips, and popsicle sticks. Thank you guys so much for sitting through my lesson. I hope you had fun, and I hope this kind of helps you think of different ways to talk about reading with your children. So please have a wonderful day.